So you're probably already tired of hearing this, but if you remember, if you see the symbol, pause the video, stop, take any notes you need to, and then go on to the rest of the slide after you're done taking your notes. If you don't need to stop, don't stop. Today's objective: the student will be able to add variables. This will be done through a presentation and classroom activity. Today we are going to be adding variables. So like always, you're going to watch the video, and then after you watch the video, we're going to do a check for understanding activity in class tomorrow. So this concept isn't too hard. Just pay attention and you guys should get it done pretty quick. Okay, first, what is a variable? So before we gotta figure out what a variable is, I have a little question for you guys. Okay? Even though in class I'd be doing this exact same thing and going around the room asking, name a fruit, think of a few different types of fruits. There's no right or wrong answer to this, but what am I thinking of? And I've done this activity numerous times and no one's ever thought of the fruit underneath the question mark. So, name a few. Nope, it's not apple. It's not orange. It's not cherry. The fruit I'm thinking of is called a dragon fruit. At the time I made this video, it's like almost as expensive as lobster to buy dragon fruit by the pound. So, cool little fruit. I've never actually had it because I'm a teacher and I don't have a lot of extra spending money. But now, anytime you see dragon fruit, think of the letter D. Just in your head, anytime you see D, think of dragon fruit. When we are working with variables, we don't know what it is. It can be anything. We're going to use dragon fruit as an example. D is dragon fruit. But what happens is it can be anything. It can be a dog. It can be a diaper. It can be a donut. It can be a duck. It can be a donkey, dump truck, dollars. All you need to know is it can be anything. You're going to find out later it's a number. But right now, it can be anything you want it to be. How many D's do you see, or how many dragon fruits do you see? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we have 4 D's, so I write 4D right there, and I add 3 more D's, 1, 2, 3, and we put them together, our answer is going to be 7 D's, because we now have 7 dragon fruits. So I'm going to bring back those 4 D's again. We have 4D. This time something else with D comes back in, duck. The duck comes in and eats 3 of the D's. So now if we have 4D minus 3D, you'll have 1D. Or it doesn't say it, you can also just call it D by itself because it's kind of repetitive to have 1D, but both of those would be acceptable. Okay, so we now have our first pause point. This is our only pause point we're having this lecture. This lecture is very short and it's almost done. So pause if you don't need to, go on to the next part and you're good to go. There's only 8 problems. Since it was a short lecture, do all 8 problems. When I stop talking about 5-6 seconds after, you're going to see the answers are going to pop up. So spend a few minutes, do all 8 problems, and then when you're done, you will have the answer showed to you. To recap, we had a short lecture today on adding variables. This shouldn't be too hard because it's just basically building on a concept you already know, which is adding. We're just throwing a variable in there. It does get a little bit harder later when we're doing combining like terms and things along those lines. But that's down the line. We'll hear about that in a few months. So the objective, the student will be able to add variables. This will be done through a presentation and classroom activity.